can never be the same again.
The Witch's Revenge. The village of Blackmere sat crouched at the edge of the moors, its cottages huddled together as though afraid of the open wild. To the east rose a crooked forest, where the trees grew so tightly packed the branches tangled like grasping fingers. Few dared venture there, for it was whispered that something dark had taken root among the roots and shadows long ago. Her name was Elspeth Harrow, though most remembered her only as the witch. A century earlier, she had been burned at the stake in the square of Blackmere, her screams echoing against the stone walls of the church. The villagers said she cursed them with her last breath, swearing she would return when the blood of her persecutors ran in the soil. Generations passed. The church bells tolled, children grew and old men died, and the curse slipped into the stuff of legend. But legends in Blackmere had sharp teeth. It began with the cattle. Farmer Holt's prized bull was found one morning with its throat torn open, though no wolf or dog had left tracks in the mud. Soon after, a seamstress pricked her finger and could not stop the bleeding. Then came the whispers, shadows moving in the forest, a woman's voice singing where no woman stood. The villagers gathered in the tavern, their faces pale as candle wax. The oldest among them, a stooped man named Corbin, shook his head and muttered, "The Harrow bloodline still lives. That curse never left us." The name struck fear into the room. For though Elspeth Harrow had been burned, her daughter had vanished into the woods before the fire was lit. Some claimed she perished in the bogs. Others whispered she had lived on, nursing her hatred, passing her dark knowledge to daughters and granddaughters. No one spoke of it openly, but everyone felt it, the curse had awakened. On the night of the harvest moon, the church bells began to toll on their own. The ropes swung though no hand pulled them. The villagers gathered in the square, drawn as though by unseen strings. A cold wind swept through, carrying the scent of smoke and ash. And then they saw her. A woman stood at the edge of the square, her figure tall and thin, draped in a cloak the color of midnight. Her hair fell in dark coils, her skin pale as bone. But it was her eyes that froze their breath, black as pits, yet burning as though coals smoldered within. "I am Morwen Harrow," she said, her voice rolling like thunder. "Daughter of daughters, blood of Elspeth." Gasps tore from the crowd. A mother clutched her child. A man spat on the cobblestones and shouted, "Begone, witch! We will not fear you." Morwen smiled, though it was no smile at all. "You already do." That night, fires erupted across Blackmere. Not flames that ate wood and cloth, but ghostly fire, blue and green, that licked the walls and left no ash. Crops withered overnight, and every well turned to brackish black water. Worst of all were the dreams. Each villager who slept awoke screaming, for they all saw the same vision, Elspeth Harrow burning, her mouth open in a scream, her charred hands reaching for them through the smoke. The priest, Father Aldrich, tried to rally the people. He stood in the pulpit, clutching his crucifix, declaring that faith would protect them. But when the bells tolled again without warning, and the heavy doors of the church slammed shut by invisible hands, even his faith began to falter. One by one, the villagers began to vanish. Old Corbin was found in his cottage, his body twisted as though by unseen ropes. The seamstress who could not stop bleeding was discovered in the forest, her body drained white and arranged in a circle of black stones. A child was carried away in the night, though her cries echoed long after she was gone. Morwen Harrow was taking them. Not quickly, not mercifully. She was savoring her revenge. The villagers begged Father Aldrich to act. At last, trembling but resolute, he agreed. The witch must be destroyed as her grandmother was, he declared. Fire drove her out before, and fire will drive her out again. So they gathered their torches, their pitchforks, and their fear, and marched into the forest. The woods swallowed them. The deeper they went, the more the trees seemed to close in, their trunks bending like ribs around a great dark heart. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the bark. Whispers rose and fell, as if the forest itself spoke. At last, they came to a clearing where a blackened tree stood alone. Its trunk was split, hollowed into the shape of a cradle. And within it, Morwen waited. She stepped forward, her cloak brushing the soil, her smile cutting through the dark. You burned my grandmother, she said softly. Now, I will burn your world. The villagers hurled their torches, but the flames twisted in the air and turned back upon them. Fire clung to their clothes, their hair, the skin. Screams filled the clearing as men and women fell writhing. Father Aldrich held high his crucifix, shouting prayers, but the words faltered on his tongue. Morwen lifted her hand, and the metal melted, dripping between his fingers like wax. You killed Elspeth Harrow, she whispered, her voice rising to a howl. But you did not kill her curse. By dawn, the forest was silent again. Where the villagers had stood, only ash and black earth remained. The wind carried the smell of burning back to Blackmere, where the few who had not joined the hunt waited in terror. When they ventured out at last, they found no survivors. The village lay under a pall of smoke, its crops dead, its wells dry, its people broken. And on the church door, carved deep with something sharper than any blade, were the words, "The Harrows remember." Years passed. Travelers spoke of Blackmere as a ruin, a place where no birds sang and no crops grew. Those who strayed too near claimed to hear weeping in the night, or to glimpse a pale woman drifting between the trees. And sometimes, when the harvest moon rose, the bells of Blackmere tolled once more, though the church lay in silence, and no living hands were left to pull the ropes. For Elspeth's curse was not just on the villagers who burned her. It was on the land itself. And the Harrow bloodline endures. Still watching. Still waiting. Still avenging. If you enjoyed tonight's tale, remember to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good scare.